Have you ever wondered what happens to the memories I've tried to forget? What if they came back and wouldn't leave? I think we all have memories we push away, moments too painful or too strange to face. But what if those memories didn't stay buried? What if they lingered somewhere, waiting for the right moment to return, haunting me until I have no choice but to remember? This is the story of one such memory. It belonged to me, someone who once led an ordinary life, but that life is unraveling. The whispers started as a distant hum, a faint voice just out of reach. But with each passing day, the whispers grew louder and more familiar, like a forgotten voice clawing its way back into my mind. The question is, why now? Why, after all this time, is the memory resurfacing? And what does it want? Because this isn't just an old thought returning. It's something far more sinister, something determined to be remembered, no matter the cost. At first, I ignored it. The whispers, the fleeting shadows, the growing sense of unease. But soon it became impossible to escape. This forgotten memory, this haunting presence, demands to be acknowledged. And what I'm about to discover will change everything. As this story unfolds, one thing is sure. Some memories aren't meant to stay hidden. And once they return, they can destroy everything I thought I knew. Stay with me until the end and find out what happens when the past refuses to stay forgotten. It started with a whisper, just a faint sound in the back of my mind. I brushed it off. I didn't know it was the beginning of something much worse. At first, it was easy to ignore. A soft voice that could have been mistaken for a stray thought, an echo of a dream. I carried on with my day-to-day life as if nothing had changed. Work, home, the usual routine. But that faint whisper stayed. It was always there, just barely audible, like a word that lingered on the edge of my consciousness. And every day, it grew louder, insistent, repeating the exact phrase over and over. Do you remember me? You remember. The voice followed me everywhere, at the office, in the quiet of the night, even while I was walking down the street. No matter how much I tried to ignore it, it never went away. I convinced myself it was just stress, a lack of sleep, or maybe too much time alone. But deep down, something else stirred, a sense of dread that whispered back. I couldn't shake the feeling that this was more than just fatigue. Something was watching. It wasn't long before other strange things started happening. I would set something down, only to find it moved when I returned. Shadows at the edge of my vision flickered, darting out of sight when I turned to look. My heart raced, my mind running wild with explanations, but nothing made sense. Was it all in my head? The tension grew thick, as though the walls were closing in around me. Whatever this was, it was creeping closer. The voice didn't stop. In fact, it grew louder, stronger, and soon, the memories came back. Memories I thought were long forgotten. Days passed and the voice became more than a whisper. It was there every moment, pushing, prodding, demanding to be acknowledged. No matter how hard I tried to block it out, it invaded my thoughts, filling every quiet moment with dread. This wasn't just a delusion. It felt natural, like the voice was following me, watching from every shadow, every corner of my mind. And then the memories started. They came in flashes, broken images of a time long past, fragments of faces and places that felt familiar yet distant, like a dream I had forgotten. I struggled to piece it all together, but it was like chasing smoke. I knew I should remember, but something was stopping me. The voice continued, echoing in my mind, asking over and over, "Do you remember me?" Despite the fear gnawing at me, I became consumed by the need to understand. What had I forgotten? Why couldn't I recall this piece of my past? The desire to uncover the truth burned more potent than the terror it brought. I searched through old photographs, scanned letters, and dug into the corners of my mind, trying to find anything that would give me an answer. But the deeper I went, the more haunting the voice became. Every time I thought I was getting closer, the voice shifted, becoming darker, angrier, and demanding. Nothing I found gave me clarity, only more questions. Who was the voice? And why had I buried this memory so deep? As the search continued, the world around me began to twist. Shadows no longer stayed at the edge of my vision. They moved with purpose, creeping closer each time. Doors that had been firmly closed would creak open on their own. I could feel eyes on me constantly, watching from the corners of every room. My mental state frayed, and hours disappeared, lost in a haze of confusion. Time itself felt distorted. Paranoia set in. Reality had begun to shift, and I could no longer trust my mind. And then I remembered everything. One night, after what felt like an eternity of whispers and shadows, the floodgates opened. The forgotten memory returned with full force, overwhelming me in an instant. The voice, it belonged to someone I once knew, someone I had cared about deeply, someone I had wronged or abandoned. The weight of the forgotten past hit me all at once like a crushing wave of guilt and fear. The memory that had been locked away wasn't just an accident. It was buried deliberately, hidden beneath layers of denial and shame. And now, that person, whether they were real or something else, had come back, determined to be remembered and determined to make me face the truth. I was consumed by guilt. The voice was no longer just a voice, it was a presence, a constant reminder of what I had done. There was no escaping it now. The memory wrapped itself around me, suffocating, leaving no room for rational thought. The whispers had become screams, tearing through my mind with accusations. You forgot me. You left me. You can't hide from the past. Every moment was torture. Every thought was a reminder of what I had tried so hard to forget. The past had returned with a vengeance, and I was powerless against it. Just when it seemed like I could take no more, the memory revealed its darkest secret, a truth I hadn't even considered. It wasn't just that I had forgotten this person. It was that the memory itself had been twisted, warped by time and guilt. Was this real? Or was it all a manifestation of my unraveling mind? The line between memory and madness blurred, leaving me questioning everything. Because in the end, the past can never truly be forgotten. It lives in the shadows, waiting for the moment to return. And when it does, it won't leave until I face it, no matter how terrifying the truth may be. Some memories fade with time, but others never die. They linger in the shadows, waiting for the moment to come back. Because in the end, the forgotten are never truly gone. I thought I could escape the past. I thought I could bury it deep enough that it would never resurface. But some things, no matter how forgotten, never truly disappear. Now, I'm left trapped in the echoes of my own mind, haunted by a past I tried so hard to erase. The question remains, did I deserve this fate? Was the memory that haunted me real, or was it just a manifestation of my crumbling sanity? The truth is never clear, and that's what makes it all the more terrifying. In the end, the worst horrors are the ones that come from within. But the story doesn't end here. Forgotten memories, lost figures, they have a way of finding their way back. And sometimes, they return with a purpose, with a need to be heard. What other memories are hiding in the dark, waiting for their moment to resurface? What other ghosts of the past will come back to claim what's theirs? Stay with me, because this isn't the last time the forgotten will return. And when they do, the terror will only grow stronger.